So after last night's win over Ronald Ellis, getting the 11th round stoppage, David Benavidez. Let's talk about him and who would win if he was to ever face off against Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now, David Benavidez has been really vocal lately when it comes to wanting to fight the best at 168. He's also been vocal on wanting to fight Jermall Charlo. Make no mistake, Jermall Charlo is the one that started that whole mess between him and David Benavidez. He was throwing jabs at him, no pun intended, and David Benavidez started putting pressure on him. And I guess Jermall Charlo wasn't expecting that, kind of blindsided him, that David Benavidez want all of the smoke with him. Canelo Alvarez is also in his division, and David Benavidez has been calling him out, saying he would knock out Canelo as well. And Canelo, he had said a while ago, he said that not too long ago, that he is no longer fighting any Mexican fighters. Now, I don't know if that's just, it could have been him joking. I don't fucking know, man. But I'm trying to think back, when is the last time have you seen Canelo fight a Mexican fighter? Think about it. But anyway, he probably was serious, man. Knowing Canelo, probably was serious. But I don't see why he would do that, you know, because that kind of dismisses a whole lot of talent in his nationality, man. It's, you know, boy, oh boy, if somebody that was black says something like that, it was like, oh man, I'm not, like, if Bud or somebody said, man, I'm not fighting no more black fighters, man, we'll never hear the end of that shit. You don't really hear anybody making any noise about it. But I'll be fair, there are a lot of Mexican fans that are giving Canelo a lot of hell. They are, about his comp and about his competition and other things. So I will say that I've seen the comments. So I'm not gonna say that all Mexicans are riding with Canelo because he's Mexican, because it's not true. But anyway, how would David Benavidez do against Saul Canelo Alvarez? After watching him last night, and I've watched nearly all of David Benavidez's fights, I see him being some sort of a problem for Canelo, only if he learns how to move his damn head. David Benavidez has no head movement. He does, you know, he can evade punches. You see him kind of slip sometimes. You'll see him do a little feint slip. He can do it. But generally, he doesn't have the head movement. And I see that being a big problem, because he doesn't have the head movement, and he doesn't have the footwork. He's gonna be there for Canelo to hit. It's gonna come down to if David Benavidez can handle Canelo. And it's also going to come down to if Canelo Alvarez can handle David Benavidez. Now, as far as Canelo Alvarez taking power, we already know he has a proven fucking chin, granite iron chin. We saw that against Triple G. We've seen that against a lot of other punchers. Canelo's chin is legendary. David Benavidez, he's been hit by some people. By Anthony Dirrell, probably one of the most powerful people he's fought. He took it pretty good. But people say Canelo Alvarez is just this monstrous puncher. Now that's the problem I got with this whole thing. People say that Canelo's this monstrous puncher, and no, man. Listen, who's the last person that Canelo Alvarez has stopped, man? Rocky Fielding, I think, to the body. I'm not talking about Avni Yildirim. Yeah, he stopped him, but everybody knew that was going to happen. But we knew he was going to stop probably Rocky Fielding as well. I'm talking about really stopped him where the ref had to throw the towel in or just flat out knocked out. He hasn't done that in a long time. All right, and David Benavidez, he stopped Ronald Ellis. Okay, they threw the towel in with that. He stopped Anthony Dirrell. He stopped Jalen Love. I mean, Jalen Love. I mean, that's not a real threat. He was never a real threat to David Benavidez. Anthony Dirrell was, though. I know a lot of you ain't gonna feel like that, but Anthony Dirrell was indeed a threat, and he was popping David Benavidez's head back a lot. And that's because he doesn't move his head. He has to learn some head move. His camp has to teach him that. And Canelo is not knocking out David Benavidez. don't care what you Canelo lovers think. He's not knocking out David Benavidez. Shit, they might. I don't even think David Benavidez is knocking Canelo out. You heard Ronald Wellis last night. He said he didn't feel David Benavidez's power. Not sure what that's about, and I think that could be something related to how sometimes David Benavidez is his leg placement, man. Sometimes it looks like he doesn't get leverage on his power punches. That's something else that I caught on to, but maybe he generates it and he feels comfortable punching like that. Maybe we not the ones in there taking those punches, so we don't see it the same. All right, so I think that would be a good fight. He's gonna be there for Canelo to hit though all day. He does, his footwork is not there, so that's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be a good fight nonetheless if they ever did fight. That fight is gonna be just like this. David Benavidez is gonna be there for Canelo to hit, assuming that he goes in there with the same head movement, with non-head movement. Canelo's gonna be hitting him all night. David Benavidez is definitely gonna touch Canelo all night. I believe his reach is much longer and he's taller. He's definitely gonna touch Canelo up. They're gonna be touching each other up. It's gonna come down to who can take the most abuse, man. David Benavidez also, he gotta learn how to cut the ring off a little bit better. Like, he can follow you around the ring, but he doesn't really cut the ring off as well as a lot of other fighters, like Errol Spence. Once he learns how to do that, he might trap Canelo up in the corners and start going to, you don't want to be up on the ropes against David Benavidez though. He can catch Canelo, man. He can hurt him. I think they can hurt each other. But I think they're both too durable. I think I don't see any of them really like knocking each other out. I can't see it. That fight might end up, I think David Benavidez could pull it off because just off points, because he's gonna do those if Canelo can't evade those flurries like that, those are points, and David Benavidez can probably win on the scorecards. I see that happening, man. He's young. He has the speed. I think he has the speed advantage over Canelo. The power, I don't know who has more power. I would say they probably on an even playing field with the power. If I had to give somebody the edge in power, I would have to give it to David Benavidez just slightly. But if it goes to the cards, man, he's gonna have to like really put on a show against Canelo. I'm talking about he's gonna have to be racking up them flurry points on him, man. That's the only way he'll win on the cards. Otherwise, he'll have to knock Canelo out to win. So that fight, man, only way Benavidez is winning that on the cards is if he really outboxes Canelo Alvarez. And I can see it. I can see that happening because the kid is fast. He's very fast. But you know how it goes when it comes to Canelo, man. Those judges are very biased. So you're going to have to do some exquisite work. You're going to have to hurt him a few times in that fight. That's the way he wins. And I got David Benavidez probably losing. I got David Benavidez losing due to the fact of his current style and him not moving his head. Him not moving his head enough. You know, not having the greatest of defense. So I will have to watch some more of his fights. Maybe another 3 or 4 fights. I'll start seeing him move his head a lot more, slip a lot more punches when he's going in, instead of getting hit while he's going in. So, you know, if I start seeing him going in and he's blocking while he's going in, and I start seeing I see the dude throwing a punch and he slip it, I will give him a better chance of winning on the cards. On winning on the cards, because listen, when it comes to Canelo, man, everybody already got it figured out. You cannot beat him on the cards unless you do a lot of convincing things in that ring. He can do it. He has the ability. I don't see him knocking Canelo out, which it's a possibility there. It's always a possibility. He still has the youth and he still has that young power in him. So that's quite possible, man. I don't see Canelo knocking him out at all. That's why I said he loses, because the way he has no head movement. He's gonna be there for he's already gonna be there for Canelo to hit. So why not put, make the target harder for Canelo by having better head movement, better footwork. He works on his footwork, he works on his head movement. He has a better chance of winning on the cards because he can move. He's not letting Canelo get points on him. He's moving his head more while he can do his flurries, dip out, get out of the way. Keep doing that, get out the way, body shot. Yeah, his body work is excellent. He got excellent body work. But as of right now, on his Who Wins video, Canelo Alvarez wins on the cards against David Benavidez. That'll probably change if they ever get into a real fight and he does something different and he goes back and learns something with his head movement and everything. But right now, I got Canelo winning against David Benavidez, 12th round decision. Let me know what y'all think. If these two ever fought, who would win? David Benavidez or Saul Canelo Alvarez? Catch you guys on the next one.